Thank you to my patrons and members.
This one's been getting like pushed up for too dang long. Let's go. Red Joker, how a single role saved this voice actor from stabbing.
Thank you to my patrons and members for voting this video. What are you willing to sacrifice for your dream? I'm sure many of us have something we want to do, something we want to accomplish, something to be proud of. But what price are we willing to pay? Pride, relationships, time, or even the basic privilege of eating? Koga Aoi was certainly willing to pay it. From being a country girl in the middle of nowhere to living far below poverty for years, to an iconic voice actor in the industry. This is how Kaguya-sama saved Koga Aoi's life. Ao-chan hails from the Saga Prefecture, a very small countryside prefecture in southern Japan, and from a very young age...
Okay, I mean, I'm not quite at the, latest, you know what I'm saying, like the latest episode all the way caught up, but I do watch Love is War. I see you. Okay.
Loved anime, Beyblade, Purikya,
What a
Inuyasha,
setup, what a setup.
Pokemon, One Piece, all the classics that kids loved back then. At about 10 years old, very coincidentally, the anime she always watched on TV showed a segment of the after recordings, how voice actors voice their lines to create anime. It was then that she learned of this occupation and immediately gained interest in the field. Yet this would be but an idea that stayed in her head for a very, very long time. The reason? Social pressure. See, perhaps similarly to many countries in the West, she was growing up into that period where more and more kids around her started thinking that anime was for kids. If it got found out that you watched anime, people would be like, "Really? How old are you? You're still watching anime?"
Bro, who you telling?
Yes, this happens in Japan too. And so, fearing backlash, she would just spout random popular occupations like a vet or a beautician as her dream and went with the flow, not even able to
Bro, I don't want to get too far into it, but I basically started an entire freaking career profession, basically because I literally had to make a choice between going to college, the specific college I wanted that would have, not only did it have, you know, like, movie directing, film, as like you know, something that you could do there, but more importantly, they also gave, like, voice acting lessons, stuff like that. Or I could pursue a career in technology and computer repair. And basically, because of basically, universally, everyone in my family and my friend, like, everyone pretty much told me that it was better to go into the technology field because like, you know, being an actor is unrealistic. And that's pretty much like what led me on like that whole, like, my whole career for 7-8 years. Damn.
tell her good friends. Over the next decade, her otaku side would only grow stronger, rushing home to watch shows like Genesis of Aquarion, and eventually in high school, she even made otaku friends who she'd watch Angel Beats together with and bawl on the way home. However, because everyone around her was just aiming to stay in the Saga Prefecture, just aiming to be a government or office worker with no strong ambitions, going to Tokyo for an industry with no guarantee for any success was just some pipe dream of a random country girl, and even with these otaku friends, she just couldn't bring herself to say her dream. Something so ridiculously out of line. This pipe dream and situation lasted years, almost a decade, and she really hated this side of her. The fact that she couldn't ever say her real opinions, always scared of some social stigma, it felt as if she was trapped. Yet the anime characters she's always watched could always live freely to their ideals, no matter how weird they were, without a care in the world. And she admired it. If I became a voice actor, perhaps I could experience living like that, she had always thought. That's why Ao-chan ingrained in her mind that this dream occupation would become the meaning of her life. And this state of not telling anyone would last until Ao-chan was 18 years old, on the verge of graduating high school during her careers discussion, where she finally built up the courage to tell her teacher that she wanted to be a radio personality. So she was going to a vocational school. Yes?
Hey, that's voice acting. That's voice acting all the way. That counts. 110% that is voice acting. That counts.
She bent the truth. Yes, her—
But no, she told the truth. She just got the specifics of the truth not correctly.
Her fear of self-expression was that bad. However, with a good family that she was close with, Ao-chan was at least able to tell her parents the truth. Her parents were hesitant at first. I mean, there's no way some countryside parents would even know what a voice actor is. They were understandably really worried about sending their countryside daughter halfway across the nation to the biggest city in the world for an occupation they'd never heard of. Still, they wanted to support Ao-chan's dream, so they suggested starting out with a vocational school in Fukuoka rather than Tokyo, a much closer city commutable from home. This was it, the beginning of Koga Aoi's dream. Ao-chan had a blast at the school. It was as if the feelings she had been repressing for years could be all released at once in these lessons. She learned a lot, got along with everyone, and just had a fantastic time. While far, Fukuoka was commutable to and from home, and there seemed to be no big problems. She was happy. After some discussion with her teachers, Ao-chan decided to get serious and apply for the agency training school, 81 Actors School. She passed with flying colors. She informed her mother, and this time, with a training school that was under an actual voice actor agency, her mother saw Ao-chan's career grow and supported her move to Tokyo in 2014. But this is where the smooth sailing ends. The move to Tokyo was brutal. As a country girl, getting used to the busy city with chaotic connecting trains and crowds was hard, and as an introvert, she found it difficult to talk to the super extroverts in her class. But more than anything, she was broke. Like, broke. Ao-chan
Let's go!
presumably didn't save up much money because, in her very own words, she was desperate to stay alive. The part-times she did, like retail, receptionist, and call centers, just didn't pay enough. She did actually officially debut as a voice actress in the Japanese mobile game Huinyusha Mainshima to Soda no Meikyu as Magia, and her anime debut being a woman in Nokka Braves of the Six Flowers. But again, these were minor roles that paid pennies, and as a newbie, she wouldn't get many other characters either. Ao-chan's money situation got so bad that she had to start eating plain white rice with ponzu sauce as meals, just to be able to feel somewhat full. And no, I'm not talking about a meal or two. This lasted for years. This was her eating staple. Imagine finding the energy to work and go to school on rice with sauce. Ao-chan did actually graduate her agency school and passed the agency audition first try, leading her to enter 81 Produce, but this wasn't the case for actual auditions for roles. Even under an agency, she didn't get any, and so her money problem never went away. She was always broke. The best meals she got were instant curries sent by her family, and the best roles she got were random side characters that barely mattered and barely paid. From 2015 to 2018, the most significant roles
Damn, bro. I wish I had that many freaking roles that didn't matter.
Ao-chan got were probably Hanabi in Mahou Shoujo Nadia Girls, cause it was at least a main character, although it has the lowest mal score I have ever seen in doing seiyuu research. So that from Tenchi no Sanpi, as an actual band was formed from this in real life, with Ao-chan playing the drums, although its popularity was nothing spectacular. And Yuri from 2CAR, cause again, at least its main character. Other than this, it was absolutely nothing that mattered for 4 whole years, and being basically
Damn. Fans of all those animes just catching strays.
in starvation for almost 4 years. She just kept failing all the auditions she went to, and it looked extremely bleak. Ao-chan recalls times of breaking down while calling her mom from failing auditions at first. Maybe I'm not suited for this. I can't do this anymore. While all her mother could do was provide life advice and emotional support. Yet even though she was suffering so much, she couldn't actually bring herself to stop. Asking her parents for help felt shameful, and she just felt she couldn't just give up and go back to Saga. It'd be embarrassing to just...
Nah, son, you gotta go in with the mentality that it's do or die. I think that's genuinely the only way to make it happen. I think genuinely it's the only way to make it happen.
Go back like that, but more than anything,
so, like, some people don't gotta, like, it doesn't go to an extreme, you feel me? It doesn't go to an extreme. But I think you gotta go in with that mentality.
Herself that this was the meaning of her life. Ao-chan said she constantly reminded herself, what would she even have come to Tokyo for? To waste a few years suffering, accomplishing nothing but a broken dream? She would never let herself just go back to Saga. After 4 years of this mindset, roles for a certain anime were up for audition as she once again applied. Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Nah, so you heard that? Damn! That's the stuff that people be like sleeping on. Cause they be like, oh no, it's like, man, some people, they got all the, They just suddenly become huge. It's just like, you heard that? 4 freaking years! And she got roles! She got main roles! 4 freaking years! And finally, she got the one that finally, like, gave her that dream sort of, like, voice acting celebrity status that everyone sort of, like, really sort of, like, wants, you know?
At this point, Ao-chan was desperate. She was praying just for something to come. She was already 25, having accomplished absolutely nothing. She was scared for her future. She hoped for just one success.
Don't do that to me. Why you gotta do me like that? At the age of 29, why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta say that, Rich? Okay, you trying to say something?
Just for this one audition to not fail. And as if fate, Kaguya, the main character's role, was decided. Koga Aoi. This success came after so much failure that even Ao-chan's manager was put to tears. And when you hear the story behind how she was chosen, it really does feel like some sort of miracle, divine intervention.
I gotta be real with you though, I do gotta get like a manager, like with an agency. For now, I am pretty much completely and utterly entirely freelance.
監督ね、実はね、丸ついてなかったんですよ。絶対使えないでしょ。いや、使える。ただ、監督、自分のとこ来て、古賀さんいいっすねって。あ、後から丸になる。実は後から。
It's easy to see now after how big Kaguya-sama has gotten, but even back then, this was an anime adaptation getting a lot of hype. Not only was the manga fairly popular, winning 3rd place in the Next Manga Awards in 2017, but more importantly, it was announced that the OP would be done by Masayuki Suzuki. Us weebs may now know him as the Kaguya-sama guy, but this guy has been big for a long time. By that, I mean he was already viral 30 years ago, appearing on national television at Kohaku, and starting from the 2000s, has been known in Japan as the king of love songs. He is extremely popular with the older generation. So imagine inviting this guy, the king of love songs, connected to a completely different audience from the otaku, to do your anime opening, something he never does. All this alongside a top-tier studio in A1, it's no surprise.
Not fair though, cause that gives it the classic novela feel, you get me?
Would attract attention, and
that, like,
as expected,
real
the anime
classic
did
love
indeed
story.
blow up, but some people were actually very worried with the choice of Koga Aoi. Some not happy. Why would the producers choose a complete newbie for such a big upcoming show? Many were
Nah, see, this is where it starts to get into, like, every single person that complains there is because they wanted someone else, like, they had an image of who they wanted to play that role. You get what I'm saying? The same thing with, like, no matter who you put to play, like, for example, no matter who you put to play a specific character in, like, Lord of the Rings, in Marvel, some people are just never gonna be happy with it. Why? Because it's not, like, the person that because they know a celebrity that looks much more like the comic books or something. You get what I'm saying? They're never gonna be happy with it.
expecting, wanting a big name for such an established IP with so much hype behind it. These concerns were very quickly shut up when the anime actually aired.
I honestly think that it worked well because she was able to do, especially with that character tends to be in certain moments more mature than everybody else in the room, and then sort of reveals that, like, I guess, like, that girly friggin' vibe, you get what I'm saying? In moments where she sort of, like, lets her guard down around what's his face.
Ao-chan's performance as Kaguya was universally praised. From the pitch changes, to the emotions, to the weird noises, it quickly became ingrained in many people that there could not have been a better choice for Kaguya. Ao-chan wasn't just voicing Kaguya, she was Kaguya. The director had struck gold. The show went on to blow up with multiple seasons, being one of the few anime to temporarily hold the highest rating of all
That's what I'm
time
watching
on
right
Mal.
now.
But more importantly, with this single role, Koga Aoi's life was changed. Kaguya was a role that showed off Ao-chan's insane range and flexibility, and with a hit show like this, everyone saw her talents. The world now knew the name Koga Aoi, especially with—
And isn't that just the thing? See, because she had all the talents before. The last 4 years, she had all those skills all 4 years. It's just that this is a one-time the anime blew up and got enough eyeballs that people were like, oh, she's that. Oh, she does that. Well, she does the girl from Love Is War. Oh,
With Kaguya winning
that's
her
all it
the
is. That's literally all it comes down to. You just have to freaking do as many roles as humanly possible, so that eventually one of them like gets some popularity, and that leads to like that one person going, oh, I know that one. Oh, you do SpongeBob. Oh, you do this. Oh, you do. You get what I'm
Best
saying?
Main Character Award at the
Oh, you're
Seiyu Awards in
Bender?
2019, and the Best Character Award at the New Type Seiyu Awards in 2020. And the thing is, it wasn't even just the show that boosted Ao-chan's popularity. Kaguya-sama also has one of the best radio shows in history, hosted by Ao-chan and Konomi Kohara, Chika's voice actress. This is some of the
Oh, really?
banter between them and the fans.
好きな子ならやっぱり笑ったり喜んでいる顔だけじゃなく怖がったり泣いている顔も独り占めしたくなりますよね。私今日はこのテンションにならないのかなと思っていたんですけれども、まずはあおちゃんの意見を聞こうかな。牢屋へ。
Okay, so it's just a.
この方は
It's an
牢屋
actual
へ
like
お願いし
podcast,
ま
but
す。
it's not like.
This is genuinely one of the
characters, so to
funniest
speak.
radio shows I have ever seen, and Koe Monogatari has a huge playlist on YouTube with all the great moments translated, so please have a look. This insane radio show would not only win the Best Female Radio in the Anime Radio Awards 2020, but more importantly, really solidified a different side of Koga Aoi to all the Kaguya fans. In some ways, she really was like Kaguya, being god-awful at expressing herself, but in other ways, she was the polar opposite of Kaguya, a cute, awkward, lovable dork with empty thoughts, not big brain strategies. It made people fans of Ao-chan, not just Kaguya-sama. The Kaguya-sama special broadcast even did a whole episode on Ao-chan's story, aka much of what I have told you in this video, making people want to support her for her tear-jerking backstory, myself included. And the live action? Ao-chan didn't play Kaguya, but she appeared in the movie as a cinema staff, just as a cameo,
I love
because
it.
that really is how much Kaguya's brand.
Nah, son, that is so cool though to be able to like to do stuff like that. That's the dream right there, dude. To be like, to be so like, to be loved enough in a role that like people want to like bring you in on a project. Oh, it's so nice.
Has been connected
I
to
don't know, I love it.
Ao-chan. Kaguya is Ao-chan. To this very day, if you ask a weeb if they know Koga Aoi, 90% of the time they'll know her as Kaguya, unless they're a Genshin fan. Kaguya-sama alone, really, and I cannot state this enough, skyrocketed Ao-chan's name. And finally, after so many failures, the roles would start rolling in. Roles
Damn, so
include
she plays emergency sandwich too?
Rosalia from Honkai 3rd, Nadoha in Railgun, Love in Mashle, Ange from Princess Prince, Rose from
Oh, she's done chicken mashal.
Slave Isekai, Ling from Link Click, Komi-san, Kiwi from BDSM,
I like Homie, but I need to sit down and watch the whole freaking anime. I only
Yuri from
watch bits
Remake
and
Our
pieces.
Life, Konoha
Thank you.
from 16-Bit Sensation, Mona from My Senpai is Annoying, Tsubaki and Fate's Strange Fate, recently a freed wife in ReZero, and probably the most iconic one outside of Kaguya. She even got to voice Princess Ellie in Precure, one of her beloved childhood shows and a franchise she had always dreamt of being in. But you know what the best
That's freaking
collab
dope.
she's had is? Ponzu sauce.
私ポン酢をご飯にかけて食べるくらい大好きなんです。楽しみ。
Now known as the Ponzu Seiyu for her quote,
ポン酢は友達。
ポンズイズフレンズ。いいですね。ポンズイズフレンズ。ね。
I'm trying to think. I'm like, do I have any childhood animes? But like specifically animes. I'm not gonna cheat and say Pokemon, but yes, Pokemon, Digimon, all that stuff. But if I had to say like a childhood, like that, I probably should have been watching Shin-Chan. Honestly, that was my like
I love
childhood
making
anime
fun of
that like, I
people's
probably should not have been
PTSD
watching.
with 4 seasons of Kaguya-sama,
I
a
watched so
dream
much
come
Shin-Chan,
true
you have
and a
no
booming
idea.
career. It seems as though those years of suffering and doubt were
I
all
would
worth
stay up until like 3 in the morning to watch Toonami.
it. Kaguya wasn't just Ao-chan's biggest role. Kaguya gave Ao-chan a
Oh,
life.
and if you stayed up until 5 in the morning, then you would be able to watch the Dark Crystal series, where like the
Ao-chan
water
herself
was like
says
turning like
it's
black.
thanks to Kaguya that she can go to so
That
many
movie was a
different
cool
places
one,
for
bro.
events,
I had
meet
to stay
fans
until
from
5 in the morning
everywhere,
for that
star
one.
in a movie, and many, many new things she's been able to experience. It's thanks to Kaguya that her world has changed. But you know what the best thing is? Ao-chan's been obsessed with eating sushi, particularly scallops. She can easily
Dude, conveyor belt sushi to this day. To this day, there is nothing better than like just going with like some good time friends and just freaking like conveyor belt sushi, like freaking just non-stop pitchers of beer and just conveyor belt sushi.
Afford food she likes. What else?
But it's
can
gotta be a cheap conveyor. Like it's gotta be cheap. Like I don't want to worry about like you get what I'm saying?
I ask for?
I don't care if it's cheap cuts. I'm not gonna concern myself after the second, third beer.
Thank you to Vicent Pagani and all my other patrons and members for supporting the channel.
I'm a very simple person, okay? You give me tamago on rice, I'll eat tamago on rice. Delicious. Let's go. I love that stuff, bro. All the way.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, cause it's sweet. It's sweeter than normal, egg and rice. You get what I'm saying? And that makes it like a dessert. Oh, and the
Thank you to my
nari is the reason why I love nari. It's the reason I'm in love with tamago so much. Like a tamago sushi. Like the reason why I love that is the same reason I love the freaking inari so much. And I mean the inari with like the little what's that green stuff like kelp? I don't even know, but that's fine. But honestly, just like sometimes just inari by itself, like with just rice in it, is freaking delicious. But bro, here in LA, they really be taxing you for like 2 pieces of inari. They really be trying to charge you like $5 for 2 pieces of inari, and it's just like, bro, I don't even got $5 on me. Yeah, I know. My doggo's frustrated because the prices are insane. I know. That's what I'm telling them. It's nuts out here. Alright. What a freaking phenomenal video by Red Joker. Please go drop him a like, go drop him a sub, go drop him all that good stuff. Phenomenal video. I'm gonna share this on the Discord. If you're watching us on the bot, it is down in the description below. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today. I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi. That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!